You know, it's one of the most popular local NASCAR events of the year, and after an unusual 2020, and that's an understatement, it is back in full force now that restrictions have changed a little bit. We're talking about Petty Fest. I spoke with Sharon Petty Farlow from the Petty Museum to see what we'll see tomorrow at this event. Sharon, thanks for being with us today. So I know Petty Fest was a little different last year, but this year, how is it going to play out? Are we going to be back in action again this year?
Yes, we are. It's pretty much like we normally have Petty Fest. The only difference is this year, instead of autograph sessions with Richard and Kyle, it will be a photo session.
So I'll get this straight. So now restrictions are up. Everybody can wander around and do what they normally do.
Yes.
But so now you can get your photograph taken. Now, how will that work?
Okay, so normally what we do is beginning at 8 o'clock, we normally hand out 150 armbands to be in the line to meet Kyle and Richard. Normally, before in the past, people could bring a couple of items to get autographed by them. This year, we're just going to stay a little bit safer, a little bit longer with the two of them. So instead of doing autographs, we're doing photos.
So I understand also you're celebrating an anniversary of a win. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, so we're excited this year. We are celebrating Kyle Petty's, the celebration of his first win. It's the 35th year since he won at Richmond Fairgrounds. So we are extremely excited. We have the car that he won in on our t-shirts and our dash plaques and everything. And so it's a little bit different, but it's new and fun, and we hope people will, embrace that part of it. We're always trying to find something special to celebrate, and that's what we chose this year.
Well, we're happy it's back open, and I know this draws people from all over the Southeast, really. So congratulations on this,
Yes.
and give our best to the King and to Kyle. All right, so I asked you on Facebook, could any driver ever match or beat Richard Petty's all-time win record? Here's what you had to say. Bobby Odom says, no, don't think so. And Mark says, no way, because that was a different era and a different schedule. That is true. Justin said, no, NASCAR ran multiple races a week during that era. It is so hard to win in today's NASCAR that it will not be touched. Michael Lee says, not unless a driver drives it until they're 90 years old will they have that. Yeah, I was looking at the all-time wins, and of course the King has a little over 200, and I think the next closest was like 80 something or 90 something. I mean, nobody's even close.
Yeah, and so I was just looking at the list too, Eric. So we got a list here, and we got the King at 200, but no one actively is racing now in the top 5.
Wow.
We got Jimmie Johnson at number 6 at 83 wins, but he's racing IndyCar now. And then we got...
Is Gordon in there?
Yeah, Jeff, but he's retired.
Yep.
So we got at number 6, or no, excuse me, at number 9, we got Kevin Harvick with 58 wins, and Kyle Busch tied at 58 wins as well.
It's
So
true.
It's
Nobody
not
can get
going to
close
be
to
touched.
Y'all, why do you think they call him the King?
That's right.
Hello. No, but I am glad Petty Fest is back. I've covered that event a couple of times in my time here at News 2, and it is always fun to see not only the people who show up, but the cars that they drive there.
You know what's funny is my youngest boy, Tyler, when he watched Cars the first time, he didn't get that was Richard Petty, that the King in Cars. That's Richard Petty's voice, and at the time that was his wife too. That was in there, and so when I told him he lives, 45 minutes down the road, he was like, "What?" That's what he remembers Richard Petty for.
I didn't know that he was in Cars.
Yes, he was the voice of himself, basically.
Cool. I would love to see that garage, though. It's
should.
about 120 cars, and from the pictures that we saw, they look really detailed. I think that would be an amazing experience.
It is really cool. Been there many times, and it is. The Petty family is so embedded in our community. They do so much good stuff for us from a charity fundraising standpoint. Everybody really owes a debt to them because he brings that to the table wherever he goes. Very, very charitable heart to him and all of his family. Really.
And you know what they say, Eric? Records are meant to be broken, but I don't really think there's any way possible that this one can be touched.
I think you're right.